Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and in this video I am going to talk about an update on Flynn. Now, I've been trying really hard to make videos on the weekend, upload them, and schedule them so that while I'm at school during the week, I can still release 2 or 3 videos a week. So I have 3 videos that I'll be making today in this black dress. And I just thought I would give an update because I actually truthfully had just watched Mama Llama Kayla's video, which I'll put a link in the description. And she was calling out and asking for prayer. And she was saying how she's got these health issues and she believes in the power of prayer and she really needed some prayer. So firstly, watch that video and pray for her too. But I wanted to talk about Flynn because he has a health situation as well, but prayer has really helped him. And so I wanted to talk a little bit of I wanted to talk about that. Okay, so many of you might know Flynn from when I first started making my YouTube videos. He used to like climb around in the videos or poke his head around or sit in my lap. And some of you really liked that and you thought he was cute and you liked watching him. Some thought it was really annoying. But as all things, change, he's grown up and now he's not toddling around in the videos anymore. He's 9. But also, once YouTube started, having these very strict child rules and whatnot, whenever a kid pokes their head into your video for longer than a few minutes, you're not demonetized. No comments can be made. And plus Flynn isn't, he's not my sidekick as much as he used to be. So anyway, Flynn 3 years ago started having lymphedema, and this was going into his 1st grade year. And his legs started swelling. At first we didn't know what it was, and we'd gone to ER doctors, and just gradually, we knew that he had lymphedema. They said that's what it is. His lymph nodes are not getting the fluid out of his leg. But nobody had any reason of why or how to fix it. They just said, this happens. Usually older people get lymphedema, and he's just going to need to see a therapist. So we went to a therapist for a number of years. In fact, he doesn't see her as frequently, but he still sees her. And then we got this recommendation to go see a DO in Fond du Lac. And she was a naturalist. She didn't necessarily, even though she's a doctor, she didn't necessarily trust all of Western medicine. And so she started treating him for other things, hoping that those were the causes of the lymphedema. So she treated him for Lyme's disease. He went through all the antibiotic treatments for that, which was really tough on him. She also then decided he possibly had mold infestation in his body. She took samples of different places. We sent him to this lab overnight, and they said, oh, yeah, he's got mold. And so then we were giving him these mold treatments. And she was hoping that those 2 things, treating for either Lyme's disease or mold, would then cause the lymph nodes to heal, and then his leg would start draining the fluid like all the other places in his body. Then she quit, and we kind of were struggling for a while because we didn't have a doctor, and she, not being a fan of Western medicine, did not recommend us to any in the hospital network. She recommended us to these like natural doctors that were out of our network. And usually, truthfully, when we called them, they were all usually booked, right? I'm drinking tea. I usually drink coffee, but today's tea. So we did finally get into a DO at Aurora. And at that point, strangely enough, he wasn't concerned. He did continue the therapy, but he thought Flynn was possibly deaf. Which isn't funny, but was funny because he's not. But we worked on that for a while. And the other thing that he decided to work on, and this is where the miracle happened, he decided he needed to see a dermatologist for his warts. Flynn's always had warts on his fingers, and he picks at them and bites them, which only makes it worse. We've tried a number of treatments, and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to refer you to this dermatologist. Now, this is going on, this was 2.5 years before we got to see this dermatologist. Now, we've been praying for him. Everybody I know has been praying for him. We have been praying for him. And we just have not been able at that point to find a doctor that will help him. And even this new doctor was more concerned about warts in his ears. So we get to the dermatologist, and actually he had 2 treatments with the doctor where he gave him injections in his wart, but it was in wintertime, or because they were like 3 months apart. So I get to do the doctor's appointments in the summertime, and we went to this dermatologist to get his shot at like the end of May, beginning of June. And the dermatologist looked at me and he's like, what's happened with his leg? He's like, does he have a doctor for this? And I kind of gave him the rundown about when this happened and how his leg is progressively getting bigger and bigger, and he sees a therapist, but we can't get any recommendations into children's. And so we don't know what we're doing or how to fix it. They just treat him for lymphedema. And he's like, can I take some pictures and you give me permission to read through his records? Now, mind you, this is the dermatologist. And I said, absolutely. So he took some pictures with his fancy little iPad. He took some basic notes from like the history. And he's like, I'm going to get back to you in a week. And well, I'm going to be honest. At that point, I was like, yeah, right, you will. Because we have heard that plenty of times, and a month or so later, you still haven't heard. But exactly 1 week from then, he gave us a call, and he's like, I would like to schedule a blood appointment. He needs to come down to the clinic and get his blood drawn on this day. He's like, and then I want to schedule an MRI. And we've tried to get this MRI before, but it kept getting declined. But Dr. Means, that was his name. I don't know if I should have said that, but I did. Anyway, he was able to get it through, and we were all praying. I asked my Bible study this summer to keep praying that he's able to get this MRI, and our insurance approved it, and he got the MRI, and then the blood test went through, and the urine test, and all that. And this was in June. About a month later, I get a call from Children's Hospital in Milwaukee. Now, we have been trying to get to Children's Hospital for years. We were just showing up in the ER, trying to get them to look at him that way. And a couple times we even had doctors say, oh, they would call in these med students to like look at his leg, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. We'll try to get you onto this. We'll call this doctor. Here's my card. Call me in a week. We called her, and she acted like she'd never heard of us before. But this Dr. Means finally got us a referral into Children's. We even had somebody who was assigned Flynn as a case. Her name's Beth Ann. And so Beth Ann called us, and she set up the appointments for him to have a blood test for oncology, hematology. She set up for us to have an appointment with a vascular doctor. She set up an appointment for us to get him into a geneticist doctor. And this is the winning doctor, a plastic surgeon. So he's had the blood tests, and they're saying everything's fine. The vascular guy said basically all his vascular system is fine. It is his lymph nodes that are the problem. He goes to the geneticist on Monday. We don't suspect that there's anything that's going to come from that appointment, but we're doing it. And then the big golden appointment that I know that I'm setting all my hopes on is the plastic surgeon appointment I want to say November 16th. Plastic surgeons work with lymph nodes whenever they're doing plastic surgery because of draining and fluids and cancer removal. And so they have strategies, they have surgeries that they can do to heal that area and the lymph nodes and lymph system around whatever area they're having that surgery from. And so this is where there's 3 types of procedures that this plastic surgeon doctor could do. One of them I don't remember the name of. And essentially, he can inject something right into that lymph node or into the vein, so that if he has like a clog there that's preventing fluid from coming up, it will like bust it like Drano, you know what I mean? Push that clog right through. And so he can get fluid in his leg, which is why it's getting big, but it's not coming out. So that is one procedure. That is the least invasive and usually can be done in the office that day. The second two are a little bit more invasive, but can work. And that is lymph node rerouting of the lymph node traffic, so that bypassing the ones that aren't working. And then also they can do lymph node transplants. They can move lymph nodes from other places of your body and put them there. And even they can take them from cadavers. Did you know that? And so that is what we're praying for, you guys. Along with all of this stuff, I just want to let you know that already our first answer to prayer was when Dr. Means helped him. And to me, Dr. Means, who was a dermatologist, went above and beyond taking care of his warts and went above and beyond to get him into Children's Hospital. So that was our first, like, real big answer to prayer, is to get Flynny the specialist he needs. And now we're just really praying that the plastic surgeon can help him. I will put a few pictures at the end of this video of the progression of how Flynn's leg first looked when we first found out that it was getting bigger to where he is now. And it's shocking how big his leg is. And it affects him. Well, number one, he's a little boy, right? Who used to love riding his bike and climbing and playing. And now his leg is too heavy for him to swim. It's too heavy for him to ride his bike or to scooter or to run. And so, I mean, the hope is that he can just go back to being a little boy. On top of the fact that finding shoes and clothes is nearly impossible. We have to buy, like, he's a 9-year-old boy, and we have to buy size 16 pants to alter to fit him. We have to buy 2 pairs of shoes. We buy like a regular size for his good foot, and then we have to buy one that's 2 sizes bigger and wide and throw away the others, because who has shoes that are 2 or 3 sizes too big? And I mean, it's silly things. Like, I can't just go to the store and buy him a pair of Nikes. I got to buy him like these old man Sketcher brown shoes that are in triple wides, where he's got to wear clogs. And I had to spend, you know, when he was in Holly's wedding, we had to go and get his pants altered, and that was like $40 just to get the pants altered, not counting the fact that we had to buy 2 pairs of pants so that we could make one leg big enough out of the same fabric. So, I mean, Brandon and I, as his parents, will endure the extra cost that goes with clothing and putting shoes on him. But it is heartbreaking to see how he's not able to play like any other little boy would, or like he used to. So please keep praying for him. And as soon as we have information from that November appointment, that's the appointment that I'm setting my hopes onto and my prayers onto, is that will be the one where the doctor will be able to, my prayer is that he'll be able to set forth a path to heal, to fix his leg. So that is the update on Flynn. Like I said, I'll put some pictures at the end so you can see how his leg is changed over the years. And just keep praying for him. And then also keep praying for Mama Llama Kayla. Check her video out too, okay? All right. I promise the next 2 videos I have to make today are more craft related, okay? And thank you for those that have been praying for him. And thank you for all the people that check in on him over the years. It means a lot to me, and Flynn always likes to hear the comments that people say that I always read to him. So that is all for this video. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.